Hello and welcome back to my studio. Well, recently I showed you how I use color studies on a large panel to help me prepare and get to know a subject. Now I'm going to show you how I used this technique to help me paint a landscape of an olive grove. It's going to show you how to perhaps change your thinking and how to come to grips with the subject, which isn't as easy as you may think. Let's have a closer look. Okay, now painting an olive grove is a beautiful subject, and who doesn't want to take on something like that? But it's not simple. And when I looked at this beautiful reference, I was struck by the shape of the olive trees. That really caught my attention. And then, of course, the light playing through this whole scene. But if you look at these trees as well, they are not simple. And I'm talking really about the color. They look kind of dark. Perhaps the photo has, of course, made those darks a bit worse, but they're kind of a dark gray color overall, and you have to really look closely. This is one of the things about getting to know your subject before you paint it. You've got to observe closely, you've got to think about it, you've got to ask questions. What color can I use here? Do I have to use gray? Or what about using a violet or a crimson? Or maybe a orange. All sorts of colors like that come to mind. Maybe some green as well. So these are real problems you have to grapple with before you dive in. Otherwise you'll find yourself halfway through the painting wondering how the heck you got here and what to do next. Maybe question your own ability. But it was never that. It was simply about thinking about the subject and getting to know it. And experimenting a bit with color. Trying things out before you get to the main event. So I'm going to show you the color study now and how it helped me come to a few decisions about this painting. And then I did also a relatively small subject as well on a box canvas, and I'll show you the end result of that. And then ultimately I jumped into a larger painting. Having done these studies really does help. Right, let's have a look at the color study in action. Okay, I'm doing a very small study, and we're going to try and test out the tree shapes first. This is working on my large panel where I've drawn lots of little squares and rectangles, etc. to do color studies on, and you can see my previous video where I show you how to set that up. Now this subject has many interesting olive tree shapes. One of the attractions of the scene, but plotting them out is kind of tricky, and what I tend to do is imagine what I'm seeing, but frequently that gets things wrong, so you've got to observe your subject very closely. Now then, figure out the shadow patterns as well, very important. All right, set those out. And it's not as, I guess it's kind of difficult to also focus on the subject. So you've got to really observe closely and then put in the light shapes, get those light patterns in the middle and background of the scene. Now, because the color study I'm working on is almost a square, just a slight rectangle. The reference is, of course, practically a letterbox shape. So I've got to figure out what I'm putting in, what I'm leaving out. And this is how you can work out a composition if your format is different from your reference. So you can pick out the important bits, leave out those that aren't necessary. I've got the main tree shapes on the left and a supporting one on the right. And then, of course, it's all about the color. Are you just going to make your trees dark silhouettes, or are you going to bring something interesting to the painting, something that will make it stand out and look exciting? If you want to sell your paintings, you've got to really capture the imagination of the viewer. They're not going to analyze the painting from a botanical point of view, they're going to be interested in how the painting makes them feel. Does the color provoke an emotional response? Hopefully it does, because color is a powerful tool of the painter. So you got to use that, and that means testing out colors. Here I'm using some greens to push a color backwards into the middle ground, and then using blues and lighter, cooler colors for the top of the tree to suggest height, and also picking up some of the sky color. Lower down, the trees will pick up some of the light coming from left to right, and also some light reflected off the grass. So think about the underside of branches. Are they picking up any reflected light from the ground or the grass as well? Testing out some orange and reds, and then the greens, greenish blues. Now these trees are already looking quite exciting, and I'm putting in some nice little green and yellows to suggest dappled light as well, using a large brush, as you can see. This is only about 8 centimeter, 6 by 8 centimeter little color study, and with a number 6 brush it gives me a nice big shapes. Putting in that light, can you feel the light? You must really have an emotional response to this color study that you're working on. And if you're not feeling anything, then find something that's going to get you excited about it, get you involved. Try out an unusual color. Could be red, could be violet, alizarin crimson, phthalo green. But do something to get you really involved in the scene. Here's the small version, and here's a medium version that I completed thereafter, and a work in progress using a larger canvas. Alright, as you can see, quite a lot to take in and think about, but this is the beauty of painting. It's not easy, but you can take it on with a lot more confidence by just taking a bit of time and getting your ideas and a few things to just throw in and see if they work. So this, I hope, is going to inspire you to really get into your color studies as a big part of your painting process. Do lots of color studies. I can't emphasize that enough. Do hundreds in a year. Your painting will reach a mastery level before you know it. And what's the harm in trying? It's a lot of fun as well. So go for it. Try out something similar, and let me know how it goes, and let me know in the comments whether this video has helped you. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time to do that. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel. You won't miss another video. And finally, check out the free course view up here, just something to get you started. Okay, enjoy your painting, and until next time, cheers for now.